Welcome to the channel Get Rich. Today we are going to look into a company which belongs to CPaaS industry. So what is this industry is about and what is the growth prospects of this particular company and also the industry. So we are going to look into the industry, how their revenue streams are coming in and their financial statements and also their valuations for the next 1 and 2 years. So let's get started. So before going into the video, so if you like this video, please like, share and comment, and also if you would like a free email newsletter, please subscribe in the link below. So let's get started. So the industry we are going to look into is, as I said, is CPaaS. So what is CPaaS industry? So it's a communication platform as a service. It's a cloud-based platform that enables enterprise to add communication channels such as audio, video, and messaging into their existing core application. So this industry is gaining significant traction in the enterprise communication ecosystem because it's a value add for them, because they don't have to invest in their own hardware and software, so they can easily use their platform to integrate into their particular app. So we'll get into that in detail. So WhatsApp is also gaining traction as a more and more use case emerges in this particular application. So it's not only text based notifications, so also now WhatsApp is also gaining traction in this particular segment because the pace of digitalization is also increasing because of the COVID, as well as the increase in mobile phone users, online transactions and online shopping. So it needs the businesses to engage with their customers more frequently or more actively, because they need to send SMS confirmations, or they also need to send some kind of transaction confirmations and so on. So according to Gartner, 90% of worldwide organizations would be using CPaaS solutions to improve customer engagement by 2023. And also, the CPaaS market would increase at 29% CAGR from 2020 to 2025. So if you look into their growth, it's going to grow about 26 to 29% for the next 5 years. That's phenomenal growth as an industry. So individual companies can grow more or less. So 25% for the next 5 years, it's a pretty good growth. And then if you look into their some of their key peers, for example, so the company we are going to look into today is Tanla Platforms. So if you look into their key global peers, so for example, Twilio is the key player with the market share of 20%, and then Variant Systems 15%, and then 14%, 6%. So Tanla Platforms have 4% market share globally. And if you look at the individual company growth, there are few companies which are going less than 20% and few companies which are going to grow more than 25%. So Tanla Platforms is expected to grow about 25% for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So if you look into their market share, for example, their key expertise comes from sending messages through different platforms. Sending messages or audio, be it text message, audio message, video message. So mainly text message. So if you look into the total messages sent per day in India, so it's about 1.2 billion messages. If you look into the total messages sent per year in India, that's 432 billion messages. So message processed by Tanla in financial 2021 is about 169 billion messages. So if you calculate the market share, then they are processing about 39% of messages. So it's like 39% of market share. So they have 39% of market share in this industry. That's pretty good. So they are a market leader in India in this particular industry. So if you also look into number of messages per mobile user per month or per year, whatever, so they are leading. So they almost have 39 to 40% market share in this segment. And if you look into the Indian CPaaS segment, so it's going to grow about 27%. And if you look at some of the peers in India, so they have Root Mobile and other smaller competitors. So they are the biggest by revenue. So they have 274 million revenues in financial 2020. So they are the biggest market leader in this particular industry. And if you look into the Tanla Platforms, as we are just talking about, it's one of the leading cloud communication providers in India. So they offer A2P messaging and also they offer CPaaS solutions to connect with their customers. So they have variety of features. So let me go through one of just give a summary of these. What are their capabilities of Tanla Platforms? So first one, so they have Gamuga. So using Gamuga, which is an AI driven marketing automation tool for data driven insights. So this is one of their capabilities. And the second one, they have Carix. So Carix, whose solutions are deployed in the form of API integrated with enterprise applications to do like features like SMS, voice, chat, email, and push notifications. These are possible with Carix. And the third one, which is TrueBlock, that's a blockchain based distribution ledger technology platform. So it is used for filtering out some of the fraud and unauthorized messages. So that's the third feature. And they also have fourth capability, which is SMS Center, so which is implemented in key telecom in networks, and they can route messages to end mobile customers. So Tanla has about 800 billion interaction in the year. So these are the four key capabilities which are key to understand this particular company. So I'm going to explain this with an example. For example, so let's say a person called Anand, he is going to do a kind of food delivery via our app. So first, Anand is browsing a food delivery app. So he is browsing through different restaurants, different products, and so on. So Gamuga AI-driven data platform, which recommends a choice of restaurants based on his history and liking and triggers a communication workflow. So that's the first capability, Gamuga AI driven data. So which is going to give them, okay, what he likes. So that's their key capabilities, number one. And then they have Carix omnichannel communication API, so which is integrated in the app to deliver order notification in a preferred mode of communications. So the Anand, he can have order delivery confirmations, or they can have a preferred mode of communication. He can get order notifications in the app. So that's also capable with Carix. And then in order to ensure Anand receives what it is supposed to receive, so they have TrueBlock, which checks for regulatory compliance by scrubbing the message submitted by food delivery app to curb spam and fraud. So that's the third capability, which is also useful in this particular application. And then the last one, after the Anand receives a product or a particular food he ordered, so he needs to get confirmation messages, or which can be sent using their Tanla's A to B SMC, so which is deployed in their core telecom network. So they are going to send messages, okay, your order is going to receive in so and so time, or after delivering, so your order is delivered, and so on. So this is also processed by their one of their key capabilities. So these are the main key capabilities which Tanla platform is doing business on. So if you look at the market leadership, so they're the market leader in India. If you look at the revenue market share, it's about 42%. If you look at the NLD volume market share, 41%, DLT volume market share, 62%, ILD volume market share, 75%. So the key market leader in this particular category. So that's pretty good. And then let's look at some of their key growth aspects. So if you look at the some of the snapshots of the company, so they're the high growth, so they're the best in class margins, so they're the high growth company. So in the past 5 years, they did 4x of their revenue, 8x of their EBITDA, 9x of their profit after tax. They increased their gross margin by 10%, they increased by PAT margin by 8%. So they are doing phenomenally well, as it is reflected in their share price. In the recent years, it went up crazy. The share price shoot up 10-20 times. So recently they had a 25% corrections, but if you look at where the share price was 1 year, 2 year ago, it's phenomenal. So currently it's standing around 1,500 rupees, I think. So they are also doing some of accelerated innovation. So they have two recent products. So one is Wisely, which is an integration of all of these features into one single platform. So they have 3 patents awarded for this particular product, and they have exclusive multi-year partnership with Vodafone Idea Limited. So they also have coastal partnership with Microsoft. And the other product, which is TrueBlock, so world's first blockchain enabled CPaaS stack. So it's trusted by over 50,000 enterprises. So, and if you look at their another enterprise segment market leader, which is their Carix segment. So then if you are looking at their other one enterprise segment market leader, which is Carix, so it has 30% market leadership in this particular segment. So they have are about 1,300 customers across this segment. So about 60% plus of total revenues contributed by 50 of their top 100 customers, which are retained for more than 5 years. So they have more sticky business. More and more of their customers are staying with them. So they are also listed in several indexes. So they are listed in Nifty 500, Nifty Small Cap 250, Nifty Mid Small Cap 400, Nifty Small Cap 100. So they are also in Nifty Index Digital. So they are recently entered into a lot of indexes. So that means a lot of index based companies or index based funds, they have to buy this particular company. So that's also good. And if you look at some of the key financial parameters, so their market cap is about 20,000 crores and their stock PE is 40. And if you look at their return ratios, they have 52% return on capital employed, and then they have return on equity 44.6%. It's phenomenal return. So that's very great. Return on assets 25%. The numbers are really phenomenal. And then if you look at the sales growth, 35%, debt to equity is 0.04, almost no debt at all. And if you look at the price to sales, it's about 6.77. That's not cheap, but not that expensive for the company which has growth and return ratios like this. And also if you look at the PEG ratio, which is 0.38, that's very good. And then if you look at the net profit, they did about 500 crores in the current year, and the dividend yield is about 0.13%. And if you look at the price chart, look at that, what a growth this company is giving. So in the recent years, it went up crazy. The share price shot up. So currently it's trading around 1,500 rupees. So then if you look at the P chart, so recently it even traded at 60, 70, at some point it even 80, 90, 100. So recently it corrected to 40 P. So the average P is 30, median P is 30 for this company. So 40 P is currently the company is trading at. And if you are looking into their business segments, so what are their key business segments? Where are their revenues coming from? So they have revenues coming from two main sources. So their key revenue sources, which is enterprise revenues, which is coming from businesses for commercial solutions, and their second which is platform revenues. So that is from telecommunications companies. So based on the form of revenue as a result of their platforms sending out messages or filtering unsolicited messages and route them to end users. So that's their key revenue. So they have platform revenue, they have enterprise revenue. So if you look at the enterprise revenue, which is the biggest, so they have in financial 2021, they have about 93.8% of their revenue is coming from enterprise revenue, and in 2022 it's expected to about 92.3% coming from enterprise revenue, and in platform revenue it is expected to do about 7.7% in 2022, and it did about 6.2% in 2021. The platform revenue is growing at a CAGR of 40%, and enterprise revenue is growing at a CAGR of 24.7%. So platform revenue is growing at a higher growth rate than enterprise revenue. And then if you look at the total revenue growth, they are doing about 25.8%. That's phenomenal for a company which is doing like that. And also if you look at the geographical breakdown, so they have in 2020, their 77% of their revenue is coming from India, and financial 2021, 66% of their revenue is coming from India, and 23% is coming from overseas in 2020, and 2021, 34% of their revenue is coming from overseas. And if you look at their some of their key enterprise which they are serving, so they are serving variety of industries. They are including BFSI, e-commerce, logistics, healthcare. They also have Indian government on messaging solutions such as COVID vaccination and other related communications. So they are doing phenomenally well. Also, Tanla bills enterprises telco charges of about 13 pies per SMS, of which it gives 3 pies per SMS. So the SMS communication contributes about 90% of current revenue. So however, the companies expanded their capabilities across all other communication channels, including WhatsApp, email and voice. So they are having capabilities, but currently 90% of the revenue is coming from SMS communication contribution. And WhatsApp is going to be a key driver for them going ahead. And if you look at some of their companies, so because top 20 clients, they have concentration of revenues, which we will see in some time. But then they have been with the company for 15 years or more, provides a caution for the future visibility of their revenue, because most of their top 20 customers are staying with them for more than 15 years. So it's very sticky business. So more and more customers are staying with them, and they are also adding new customers. That's very, very good for any business. And if you look at the first key segment, which is enterprise segment, so Tanla acquired Carix from Blackstone, which had a 14.6% stake in Tanla post that transaction. So this increased their enterprise segment capabilities. So that's very good. Carix has a 30% market share in the enterprise, and it is serving about 1,300 enterprises and include top 7 to 9 banks. So that's pretty good. They also have they are growing at a CAGR of 25% from 2021 2022, and it is also expected to grow about 25% for the next 2 years. And if you look at the growth driver coming ahead, so they have online transaction which is coming up. Their smartphone users in India is also going coming up, and they also have a growing number of use cases. For example, they have two-factor authentication, which is also growing, and they have webinar invitations, recharge offers, flight updates, OTPs for transactions on fintech platforms and mobile applications. They have push notifications from ride hailing, food delivery apps, and so on. So they have a variety of use cases for this particular app or particular capabilities they have. So, and they have a very sticky top 20 customers, and they are adding new customers, so they are going to be a revenue beast in the coming years. And then if you look at their one of the key product, which is Carix, so they have 30% market share, as we just said, and they have a next three competitors combined as a biggest one, so they have a very big market share. And if you look at the top 10 customers in all major verticals, so they have 7 to 8 out of top 10 customers they have in all the major verticals. So they have 60% of the revenue contributed by 50 of the top 100, but they stay more than 5 years. So as I said, the business is very sticky. And they have like marquee customers in major verticals like BFSI, e-commerce, retail, social media, pharma, energy, government of India. So they have a lot of sticky customers and big customers, marquee customers, and they also added 250 plus new customers in 2020 and 2022. And the Carix revenue is growing about 20% plus, so that's good. And if you look at the platform segment, so their main key platform is TrueBlock. So they currently now have a variety of platforms. So TrueBlock is a blockchain based platform developed on distribution ledger technology. So they launched it in accordance with the new telecom regulatory authority of India standards to handle unsolicited commercial communications using blockchain technology and improve security by filtering out some of the spam and fraud messages. So it is used by lot of India's major telecom companies like Vodafone, Idea, BSNL, and Airtel, as well as two telecoms in UAE, so Etisalat and Du. So their commercial launch in September 2020, they are serving over 44,000 enterprise and handled over 250 billion plus transactions. So it's growing pretty good, and a lot of key players are using them. So they are also having plans to expand into more geographical areas, so that will help them in increasing their revenues as well. And Tanla is one of the Vodafone India's largest short messaging service center vendors. So they also have a lot of capabilities to responsible to route messages to end users and generate revenue in partnership with the telecommunication companies. And if you look at the platform revenues, as we said, it is expected to grow about 40% CAGR. So they are also having a lot of key use cases coming around. So their platform segments will also going to do very well in the coming years. And if you look at their key products, so we already looked at few of their products. They have Carix, they have TrueBlock, they have Wisely, which recently they released Wisely. So Wisely is just combination of different capabilities into one single platform. So TrueBlock, they have messaging, voice, and IoT. So they have different products. So let's see, their one of the product is TrueBlock. So TrueBlock is, as we said, largest blockchain platform. So they handle 31 billion transactions in December 2021, and they have a daily average of 1 billion. So they have volume market share of about 63%. So they are doing pretty good, and over 44,000 enterprises are using them, and enabled 5 out of 7 telecommunication operators in India with 62% market share. So they reduce subscriber compliance by about 60%. So that's good to see. And the next one we see the product they have Wisely. So Wisely is also a CPaaS platform. They are offering a digital marketplace for enterprises and suppliers. So they onboarded 2 of the top 10 Indian banks for secure and critical notification service. They successfully integrated and started processing messages for the large registered and transferred agency that constitutes over 70% of India's average assets under management. So they are serving to a biggest of the biggest customers. So they also have exclusive multi-year partnership with Vodafone Idea Limited for deployment of Wisely to secure, encrypt, and enhance features of the enhanced international messaging traffic. So they also included a lot of key features in the Wisely platform. So 2 major features including they have AI-enabled multi-channel delivery engine. So they also have new app enabling seamless integration of any enterprise applications. So Tanla also has partnered with Microsoft to develop a new platform, so which is which is Wisely. So they have a lot of features which is put it into one single platform. So they recently launched it, so it's going to be a future revenue driver for this particular company. And if you look at their customer score, their customers, and how much of the customers from different segments. So if you look into the 10 million to 100 million rupees, which is I think 1 crore to 10 crore range. So in financial 2018 they had 83 customers in that range, and it increased to 127 in Q2 financial 2022. And if you look to 10 crore to 50 crore range, then the customer increased from 15 to 29, and then more than 50 crore the customer increased from 3 to 19. And then if we look into more than 1 crore, then in that range it's increased from 101 to 175. So all of the key segments, they are increasing their customers. So if you look at the revenue per greater than 1 crore client, so that's also increasing. That's good to see. And they added 237 new customers as against 206 in the previous 9 month 2020 to 2021. That's good to see. They are increasing the revenues, they're increasing their new customers, and also if you see their top 20 customers, the revenues is increasing, and also top 20 customer concentration is decreasing. But even then they have about 60% of their revenues coming from top 20. That's leads to a client customer concentration. So that's one of the risk. But then they have a customer stickiness. So most of their top 20 customers are sticking into more than 15 years, 10-15 years with them. So that's good to see. It's like a sticky business, and the customers are sticking with them for more and more years. That's very, very good. And also they are adding new clients, so that will lead into much higher revenue growth opportunity. And then if you look at a few of their customers, key customers, for example, they have a Rapido. So they are building better conversations. How Rapido empowers customers through a suite of engagement solutions. So they have like Rapido as their customers. So they integrated a driver onboarding process on WhatsApp. So they also have a 67% increase in number of people who engaged with WhatsApp. So it led to increase of 52% increase in app downloads and 56% reactivation among the dormant segments. So Rapido, they are one of their customers, and they are seeing the value Tanla platform provides. And then they have Paisa Bazaar, which is using Gamoha omni-channel marketing platform with 8x increased conversions. So that's also pretty good. They are having Paisa Bazaar and then Rapido. They are having providing value to these kind of customers. And if you look the Wisely platform, they help Axis Bank. So the blockchain based end-to-end secured messaging platform. So their Axis Bank is using their Wisely platform. That's good to see. And also if you look at the Mahindra Construction, which launches Hello Machine as a WhatsApp digital support program using the Tanla platform's capability. And if you look into other key customers, for example, Panasonic, which improves customers care using Carix and WhatsApp. So they have automated conversational solutions for product and service related inquiries. So they have a lot of like two-way communication chatbots. So it's helping deflect 10% of their inquiries to WhatsApp from their call center. So that's good to see. They are delivering their platforms are delivering value to their customers. And also if you look at their vaccination drive, so they also supported digital communications for the largest vaccination drive for COVID-19 by delivering OTP messages for registration. And also other customers including Dani Loans and Services, which is a next gen online financial services company. So they build their great customer engagement with SMS and voice. They are also using their capability. And then they increase daily traffic to 20 to 24 million with 80% average successful deliveries. So that's good to see. They are also able to spot yearly warning and potential brand crisis using their platform. So that's also good. And also if you look at the another company, which is Ifco Tokyo, they deployed Carix smart messaging analytics to promote their policies to 3 million farmers across India, so which resulted in 8x increase in farmer engagement. And if you look at their other customers, for example, CDSL, so it adopts like scalable and omni-channel OPI to process large volume of SMS and emails to deliver regulatory communication to its customers. So CDSL, so it's a big company which is using Tanla platform. So and then they also have a largest life science company, and they're one of the largest PSU banks, the largest edtech business are all using their customers, their platforms. So that's good. And then if you are looking into their peer comparison, so a lot of them are their global peers. If you look at their global peers, they have Twilio, RingCentral, Lynch. So they have a lot of their global peers. If you look at their price to sales value in financial 2022, they have a Twilio 19.6 price to values and RingCentral 15.5, 5.8, 18.3, and then the Tanla platforms, they are about 5.8. Currently they are about 6.7. So they are a little bit in the higher side, but still see Twilio, they are the market leader. They are trading around 20 price to sales value. So compared to that, Tanla platform is trading relatively cheap. And if you look at the return on equity and other aspects, they are doing pretty good. And if you look at the some of the key players in the table below, so they have Twilio from America, and then RingCentral from America, Sinch from Sweden, and Five9. Most of them are from America, and some from India. So if you look at the revenue CAGR, so Tanla platform is doing 25.9%. EBITDA margin, they are almost at par with other players. And if you look at the EV to EBITDA, they are also almost par or on the lesser side. And if you look at the price to sales, it's 6.7 compared with the other companies. It's a little bit cheap, but not so cheap. 6.7 is not that cheap. And if you look into their some of their key peer comparison from India, so let's say if you compare the price to sales from India Mart, which is 31.4, and in Just Dial is 9.4, Affle India is 17.6, and then Matrimony 5.2, Nazar of 11.2, IRCTC 38.1, and then Tanla Platforms comes about 6.7. So comparatively cheaper when compared with these kind of peers. Zomato, look at that, trading at 29.5 price to sales value. And also if you look at there some of the return on equity, for example, India Mart 46.8, Just Dial 5.4, Affle India 22.2, Matrimony 19.1, and then 4.5, and Tanla Platform 47.6. They have the highest return on equity among all of the companies, and then also they are trading a little bit cheaper compared to other peers. So they are the new age technology companies, and then they are trading relatively cheaper compared to their peers. And looking at their return on equity and other metrics, they are doing phenomenally well compared with them, and they are trading a little bit cheaper. So that says they are better than their other peers, but still they are trading at a cheaper valuation, even though that their share price went up pretty huge in the recent years. And if you look at their financial statements, for example, quarter over quarter, I think this is year on year. So if you look at the financial metrics, so in 2010 it's 366 crores. In 2020 they did about 1943 crores. In 2021 they did about 2341 crores. 2022 they are expected to do about 3200 crores with a net profit of 500 crores. And 2020 they did about loss. 2021 they did about 356 crores. And if you look at the sales growth, they are doing 23%, 10 years, 5 years 40%. Profit after growth, it's insane. They are because they are also increasing their margins, they are also increasing their revenue, so the PAT is going up pretty high. But then they already reached a point that they could not increase their operating margin further, so their operating margin is going to stay at this level, and then they are going to increase their revenue, so their bottom line should reflect the top line from now on. And if you look at the return on equity, they are doing phenomenally well as well. And if you look at their balance sheet, for example, so here if you look at the key total assets, for example, in 2020 they have 1190 crores, and recently they have about 2000 crores. And if you look at their resource, it's also increased. So if you look at the cash and cash equivalents, they are also having 880 crores. That's pretty good. Good reserves they have for the winter times. So that's also good to see. They have a lot of cash reserves they have in case something goes wrong or they want to invest in something. That's good to see. And if you look at their cash flow, so they don't have much free cash flow until now, but then recently in 2021 they are generating a lot of free cash flow. Net free cash flow is 384 crores in 2021, so they are also starting to get a lot of free cash flow. If they are increasing that, that's going to be very good for the company as well. And if you look at the PAT growth with analyst expectations, so analyst is expecting 2023 the net revenues of 4,000 crores, 2024 about 4,600 crores, with the profit after tax of 625 crores for 2023 and 725 crores for 2024. And if you look at the shareholding pattern, so the promoter are increasing from March 2019 35% to almost 43.74% in 2021. Promoters are increasing share even from September to December. Promoters increase their shares. So promoters are believing in this company, so they are increasing their market. They are increasing their percentage of shareholding. And if you look at the FII, they also increased their market share. And also if you look at the DIIs, it's not a lot of companies of mutual funds are holding this particular company, so the public shareholding is slightly reduced. So, and if you also look into the promoters pledge, it's not much the promoters pledge of shares, so that's also good. And if you look at the mutual fund holding, so recently very few mutual funds bought in October, November, December and January. And if you look at the funds which are bought this particular company, it's a Nippon India Nifty Small Cap 250 Index Fund, Motilal Oswal Index Fund, and then also Flexi Cap Fund, BOI, and then also small and mid cap from BUN, ICC Prudential Index Fund, Motilal Oswal Index Fund, and then another one is index fund. So I think they entered into a lot of index, so these index funds have to buy this company, so they are buying this particular company. Other than no big funds are really buying this company yet. And if you look at the valuation, so they have 1 year forward PE, so currently it's about 32 in I think recently it went up to their trailing PE is about 40, so I think their forward PE would be somewhere between 35 34. So there, if you look at their mean average, that's 27 for the recent 2 years. And if you look at the globally listed peers, so they are trading at around P of 60 and their price to sales of 3.2 for financial year 2024. And if you look at their key market leaders price to sales value, they are trading at a financial year 24 price to sales value of 11.5 and 9.5 to Leo and Ring Central. Compared to that, they are relatively trading at a significant discount compared to their global peers. So that's also something to note, that they are trading at a relatively discounted valuation when compared to their global peers. And if you look at their revenue projection for 2022, they are expected to do about 3,200 crores. 2023, they are expected to do about 4,000 crores. 2024, they are expected to do about 4,750 crores. And also net income, they are expected to do about 525 crores in 2022 and 630 crores in 2023, 750 crores in 2024, with a growth of 20% and 19%. And if you look at the price target with the current valuation, which is P of 40, so the 1 year price target would be 1,853 rupees. 2 year price target would be 2,206 rupees. If you look at the price cumulative growth, so they are expected to grow about 24% for 1 year, 47% for 2 year. And then usually I will rate different PE more or less higher or lower side, but I believe the current valuation of 40 is fair valued for this particular company, because this company is giving phenomenal growth rate. They are going to clock 25% plus revenue increase for the next 4-5 years. So looking at that kind of growth ahead, they can even trade at 50-60 P. So as a conservative P, so I am also with estimating the correct P value of 40, so that's going to be the same price targets with the price cumulative growth of 24% and 47%. So if you look my personal verdict, so whether I'm going to buy the stock or not, so I think that this is a very good company, so they're going to have a very good future growing ahead. But recently the stock went up pretty huge, but if you look at the current valuation, it's justifiable because of their growth opportunities ahead, and also their return ratios and so on. Everything is phenomenal. So I believe 40 is a reasonable valuation, but it's also not trading at a steal deal kind of valuation. But if your time horizon is, for example, 3, 4, 5 years, this company is a very good buy. So yeah, this company is going to do pretty very good returns. It's going to provide at least 20-25% return for the next 4-5 years if you buy at this current price. But then if you are an existing shareholder, please don't sell this share, please keep holding. It's a very good company. If you're a new investor, I would say it's also a nice buy for a long time. But still, if the stocks are recently corrected from 2000 to 1500, if the stock keep falling from 1500 to 1000, so that if you can get the share 800 to 1000, 1200 or 1000 would be a steal deal, I would say, for this particular company. So I'm not sure whether it's going to come back to correct back to 1500 to 1000. I'm not sure, but then yeah, the current price is fair valuation. So if you can buy somewhere between 1000, I would say that's a steal deal. So personally, yeah, I'm not investing in this stock currently. I will put this stock in my watch list, and then I will keep watching. If the share price falls below 1000, I will gladly buy. If not, that's okay, because I'm also looking into other steal deals. A lot of companies also falling more and more. So I'm definitely going to put this company in my watch list because it's a very good company with a good growth. So that's my personal opinion. If you have any contradicting thoughts, that's completely fine. That's my personal opinion, and also it's not a financial advice. Please do your own research before investing in any particular stock. So that's all for today. If you like this video, like, share and comment, and if you want a free email newsletter from this channel, please subscribe in the link below. And thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye bye.